That game got interesting. The Celtics, they gutted out after leading by double digits in this one. It is the first time the Milwaukee Bucks have lost, Chiney, with Damian Lillard scoring 20 or more points. What did you learn about the Bucks and sort of the hill they need to climb here?
Yeah, I think the Bucks, they have their work cut for them just because we all really were impressed by the idea of this duo. But at the end of the day, the Bucks were successful because of their team identity that started defensively and then offensively as well. And I think Perk mentioned it earlier. A lot of times we saw it's your turn type of basketball.
Yeah.
The Celtics were the opposite. The ball was flying. They had a lot of good to great shots, meaning they pass up a good shot to get a great shot. The ball was moving on the perimeter. So I think it's just kind of shocking a little bit to see the Bucks, who used to do that, sort of revert to the struggles that they had on both ends.
Well, when I look at the Bucks, I think of one person and one person only, and that's Giannis. No matter how great of a player, Dame is, no matter how good of a player Brook Lopez is, Giannis is the actual emotional leader. Right, and he can't have an on and off switch when he brings it, especially when things are not going well for him. We saw him miss a few bunnies around the basket, and then all of a sudden he started playing selfish, which was a ripple effect, and all of a sudden you saw the rookie started taking a couple bad shots. So Giannis got to make sure he be consistent with his leadership. Other than that, on the defensive side of things, the Bucks got to find an identity, right? Like, what are they going to be? What system they're going to run and play it and do it well? Like, you can't give up lobs and give up mid-range and give up three-point shots.
Right.
That's not how it goes.
Give up everything.
Right. But on the other side, you're looking at the Celtics. They had 7 players in double figures, sharing the ball. No guy, I believe, took over 20 shots tonight. And that damn Missoula system of the spacing, right?
Yes.
The spacing in order for Jason Tatum to operate. And then one would say, hey, Chris Middleton or Bobby Portis, you got to guard better. But when you have that much room to operate, and Jason Tatum is one of the best players in the game today, look, it's nowhere you can help. And so he's getting every look that he wants. He's getting in and he's look comfortable and cozy. So shout out to Missoula for putting him in position to be successful.
And Perk, when you think about the Celtics team overall, they move the ball extremely well. And you know, when we talk about passing in basketball, we say on time, on target. It feels like that's the motto of their entire offense. They're on time, they're on target. Even with Kristaps Porzingis, having a slump shooting the ball, he made the three-point shot that mattered.
Yeah.
And it's like those are the intangible qualities. I really feel like the Celtics are like, you know what? We just want to get to our beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes,
lamb, chicken, ham.
They want to get to all of that easy. They had a little drama towards the end, but, they never were sweating.
Right.
They're confident in who they are.
And another thing, look, Giannis been really on his social media a lot, and we can't let him off the hook. And I tweeted about it. I don't want to hear about, one of these save the world speeches or it's bigger than basketball. No, it's about basketball. And Giannis has to make sure that he keep the main thing the main thing. And when he went out on the limb and basically held the Bucks organization feet to the fire, which made them trade for Damian Lillard, he said what? I want to win. I want to win championships.
That's always
so with that being said, that's got to be your mentality night in and night out.
But I will say that there are very few teams that can withstand a Damian Lillard fourth quarter that we almost saw cooking. Because if he didn't doink it right off of the front of the rim, that would have been a 2-point game. He had 11 points on 4 for 6 shooting. That's why you got him. The game might have looked a lot different if he finished that money.
Or if he started a little bit earlier to get hot.
Well, guess what, Malika and Chiney? It's very few teams, but one of those teams that they got to get past is the Boston Celtics.
That's my point.
Very
few teams. Withstand it.
And the Boston Celtics are looking like a well-oiled machine at this point. And to be fair, Boston did start to turn a corner in December, January of last year, and they didn't feel like they landed the plane quite as well as they wanted to, so they don't want to peak too early. But something feels different watching this Boston Celtics team. It feels like they know who they are, and they absorbed their new pieces.
And lastly, I will say that I bet you the Celtics in the locker room, you were there, they're like, let's get this one for Drew. Let's get this one for Drew.
Absolutely.
And I would like to apologize because I was very critical of the Marcus Smart trade, but getting Drew Holiday and getting Derek White
and Porzingis.
But Drew Holiday and Derek White. Why I'm singling out those two guys is because they're the prime example of losing yourself in the team. Right? They don't need the ball in their hands to be effective. They know how to get up off the ball, how to cut, how to move. And when you have those two guys on the perimeter that don't need the ball in their hands, it makes Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum that much more special.
This game was billed as sort of the clash of the top of the East, the 1 and 2 seed, and it really did prove that the Bucks, they do have an uphill battle here. The good news is we get this bellwether, this litmus test again in January when we see these two go head-to-head.
It'll be different.
Again in March when we see these two go head-to-head. And so it feels like it's the right amount of time in between to see the building blocks sort of get put together.